Ja, ich bin's wieder, Käse und Haare. Hier mit meinem Let's Play von Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Und beim letzten Mal haben wir mit der Final Gerichtsverhandlung angefangen und sind schon mal ein gutes Stück näher gekommen. Glauben wir zumindest. To proving both Athena and Project are Blackwell innocent. Wäre aber auch zu einfach, ne? Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I concede that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot. Alright, what's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight. Does the prosecution withdraw its claim that the defendant was carried from the scene? No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed. Objection! But Ponko and Miss Sykes couldn't have both been inside that case. Objection! The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Miss Blackwell's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense. Edgeworth, he's been one step ahead of me this whole time. In that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene? Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blackwell from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something or someone. That's hardly evidence. I have proof. The surcoat Prosecutor Blackwell was wearing. The victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape. A blood stain! With a distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth! 7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there is only one in the world, a special pair of headphones made just for her.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Analyze showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, this was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwell's coat like a stamp. A most gruesome stamp indeed! Blackwell carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Athena Sykes was, without question, present at the crime scene. And that concludes the prosecution's argument. Oh, und da verbeugt er sich wieder so elegant. Spießer! Ja! Order! If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her! Objection! But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well. Objection! I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that the simple robot was the real murderer. I don't really think that, no, but you can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand. A robot witness? Warum nicht? Ich meine, ein Roboter lügt nicht. Order! Order in the court! Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think about this? Nicht nur, dass ein Roboter nicht lügen kann, sondern der könnte uns vielleicht nochmal Hinweise geben. Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years, so why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him. Very well! I will allow the witness! Bailiff, please summon a robot named Ponko!
Ja, der Knuffelrobo! Hi!
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is not Witness! My name is Ponko!
Yes, I realize that. But when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not! I'm Ponko! Say it with me! Ponko!
What an utterly inflexible little robot. You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible. Haha! You remind me of my grandchild who used running his own name! Oh, how precious! Alright, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
Gott, ist die süß! I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Meta Sykes. It was 7 years ago on the 7th of October around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly, just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there at the robotics lab.
Aha! Hatten wir recht! It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all. This is great! I just knew Ponko must have seen something important. A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes! It's inexcusable! Wen meint jetzt? Athena oder Ponko? The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild. Ich glaube ja. Ist aber auch süß. Ich will auch Ponko bei mir haben. So, little Ponko, do you think you can give us your testimony today? Süß. Na dann, let's go.
I went to the robotics lab around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and huged Mummy Metis. And then Mummy Metis fell down. After that, I was researching, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point.
Das war doch der Point, wo sie dann auseinandergenommen wurde. Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder. I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime. What? At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited. So what are you suggesting? The witness statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms huged and then later fell down. Adults don't usually fall down after being huged by a child. They don't, but... Yes, what this witness statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment. What? Yeah. Well, before Miss Sykes huge Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued. I see! Murder after a heated argument! And then the victim fell down! I agree that it does sound like a reasonable interpretation. However, Punko doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, Wright. A cross-examination would be useless. Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless. Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time.
Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination.
I see you haven't changed. You never were on to worry about wasting time. Very well! Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright! I'll show you both just how truthful any cross-examination can be. Das haben wir aber schon die letzten Male zwar auch bewiesen, aber okay, dann jetzt nochmal Special Treatment.
Kreuzverhör.
What I saw. Aber Edgeworth hat in beiden Punkten recht. Roboter können nicht lügen und es braucht eine Interpretation des Ganzen. Also müssen wir eigentlich nur widerlegen, dass diese Interpretationen in bestimmten Punkten nicht ganz korrekt sind bei ihm und eine andere aufstellen. Fangen wir erstmal mit einem Angriff an. I don't want to delve too deeply here, but could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment?
Mommy Mattis was very surprised when she was huge. I heard her heart pound.
Her heart? Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system. Now that he mentioned it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sound of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means if Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment. Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat?
Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then.
Of all the unlucky timing! If you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the huge wasn't actually the moment of the murder.
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped. But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing.
After Mommy Mattis' heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room.
The workbench, huh? Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where that giant robot is now. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now? Yeah. Your Honor, I believe the statement is critical. I'd like it added to her testimony. Very well! Ponko, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl.
Mommy Mattis fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
Okay, danke. Denn jetzt können wir endlich mal was präsentieren. So, wo haben wir das denn? 7-year-old photo. Das ist doch. Now, workbench, window of the workbench. Na? Ja. Well, ich sag das nur ungern, aber... Schnauze! Panko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy!
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table. But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations! Das ist der Knackpunkt. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim moved. Sie hat sich also noch bewegt. Soll heißen, sie hat noch gelebt. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult. So the only explanation is that the victim was walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Panko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder. No. Phew, I'm very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Panko there. Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Miss Sykes huged her mother. Nothing more.
Objection.
Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit! Er meinte eigentlich grün im Sinne von Grünschnabel. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? Da macht ihr auch niemanden Vorwurf. If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her. Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there. I agree, since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system. It would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest moved the body? Don't you know it's the nature of a robot to help people do things? Miss Panko, allow me to ask you a question.
My name is Panko! Say it with me! Panko!
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
Athena asked you to? And what did you move, little Panko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what the thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognize people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify what it moved.
My name is Panko!
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do? Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, moved the body onto the operating table. Oh, nee! Das ist nicht dein Ernst.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 1
Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Is there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, Wright. If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it strapped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. Occasions meine ich, Entschuldigung. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object. Objection! But Ponko is equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't. So that means... Objection! A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell that was Dr. Sykes. He's right. To summarize, Thomas Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench. Then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood. Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question! Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation! Your emotions blind you the truth. You could learn a lot from our robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disabled there! Is that right? That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds.
But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do.
You can't possibly be suggesting! This young, sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up that like. She must have thought that machine heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable naive mistake! It reminds me of my own grandchild! No way! I refuse to believe it! Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace. Prosecutor Edgeworth! If you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word this as delicately as you can! With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table. No! Don't say any other word! Just stop! Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime. That can't be true! Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say! Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
Objection!
But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way. What do you mean? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. This just can't be true! Ob es wirklich so wahr ist und ob wir es irgendwie, ja, widerlegen können, müssen wir beim nächsten Mal gucken. Egal ob positiv oder negativ, Bewertung immer gern gesehen. Das war's von meiner Seite und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Sehr geil.